So today I want to explain to you guys why I couldn't watch the show Game of Thrones, and why after a little more than one season I had to stop watching it. Now the main reason why is because the show is just too damn spooky for me. But I'm going to break down the exact episode that I was watching, which was Season 2, Episode 4, and why after about 20 minutes of this episode I had to turn the show off and stop watching it altogether. So let's do a scene-by-scene breakdown here. So the episode starts off with this guy after a battle they just had, and they're telling him that he has to have his leg cut off because of the wound that he's gotten. So this guy begs them not to do it, and it's really hard to watch. And then eventually they just hold him down and saw his leg off. And yeah, that's the first scene of the show. After that, we go to this scene where King Joffrey is holding a crossbow to What's-Her-Face, who's supposed to be like his future wife or whatever. And he wants information from her, and she's crying and begging for her life, and it's really hard to watch, and it's really suspenseful, and your heart is racing because you're not sure if he's going to just kill her, because they do that in the show all the time, just kill off main people. And then after that, they cut off part of her clothing, and they're about to cut her with a sword and kill her. And then last minute, they don't, and she lives, and it's a very stressful and dark scene to watch. So then after that, they go to this scene, and I gotta be careful how I describe this scene, because we're gonna see if we can avoid demonetization in this video. But I guess the people in the castle think that maybe Joffrey wouldn't be so crazy if he had some lady time, I guess I'll call it. So they send these two girls to his room to hang out with him, but it turns out that the only way that Joffrey can have a good time with ladies is if they're being hurt and beating each other. So he hands this girl this beating stick and then makes her beat the other girl while he watches, and it's really uncomfortable, and it's a really awful scene, and it's really hard to watch, and I really didn't enjoy watching it. Then we get a little bit of talking, and then it goes to this scene here where the camera just pans through this entire scene of people all chained up and locked up, and you can hear people in the background begging for their lives and screaming, and everything's really dark and gray. I'm sorry, is this what you like? Is this what you people like to see? This is 20 minutes into the episode, and it's literally been 20 minutes of people begging for their lives, being beaten, and just awful stuff. I'm sorry, but the storyline in this is not that exciting to warrant 20 minutes of just dread and horror. And this is the point in the show where I just turned it off and decided I don't want to sit on the edge of my seat for 6 more seasons of this show when I could be watching something that's much better. Now you're probably thinking, James, you're just a big baby. Sorry you can't handle a bit of scariness. Grow up and just watch the show, it's really good. Well, the thing is, I actually do enjoy scary, violent scenes in shows. Let's look at an actual good show like Breaking Bad, for example. Now this scene has lots of character building, and lots of scenes where they eat breakfast, and everyone gets along really well, and it all adds to the storyline, so that when something really big and gross and scary does happen, you're just sitting there like, did you see that? Did you see that? Because when something crazy finally does happen, it feels extra crazy by comparison. So they're not just showing a bunch of dreadful, awful scenes all in a row. It's paced a little bit better than that. And it makes the big crazy scenes feel like more of a payoff. Now I've considered just powering through it. Everyone tells me, oh, just get through it. And the show gets really good and really amazing. But from what I've heard about the last season, things really go downhill. And it doesn't end very well, I'm told. So that gives me even less incentive to want to go and rewatch all this crazy stuff. So yeah, that's why I stopped watching Game of Thrones. I don't think I'll ever want to watch it again. There were some good things in the show, of course, but I didn't think it was that great, to be honest, from what I saw. I wish Sean Bean just stayed in the show as well. But anyways, that's all I have to say about Game of Thrones. I will also mention that recently my Patreons tried to band together and escape the basement, but I was able to use my poking stick to knock them back into the basement, which oddly enough, I used the support of my Patreons to pay for the poking stick to knock them back in, so I'm not sure if that's considered irony or what it is, but anyways, if you'd like to join them down in the basement, there's a link to my Patreon in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.